Yo, and what is going on YouTube, and welcome back for another Oathbreaker video. Now, today our video is a little bit different. We are going to be talking about signature spells, and not only just signature spells, but signature spells of a specific color. Now, before we even break into this video, if you guys are interested in the Oathbreaker format, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. If you guys are interested in Magic Kids, the official charity of the Oathbreaker team, make sure to check out those details in the description box down below. Now, let's just touch on what the specifics of a signature spell are. Now, a signature spell is an instant or sorcery within the color identity of your Oathbreaker Planeswalker. So, for instance, if I'm playing Ral Izzet Viceroy, I can play blue, red, or a combination of the two with my instant or sorcery. So the signature spell can only be cast from the command zone if your Oathbreaker is on the field. Now, each time you cast it, it costs that additional 2 mana tax each time. So, for instance, an Izzet Charm, it costs a blue and a red for the first cast. The second cast would be blue-red plus 2 colorless mana. So this also is relevant for alternative casting costs. Things like Spectacle, or cards like Force of Will, where you have an additional, an alternative casting cost. And the other thing that we get questioned about pretty consistently in the comments of videos is cards going to the graveyard so they can cast Flashback. But the signature spell always returns to the command zone, so that is one thing to keep in mind when you are building your Oathbreaker decks. Now, our first card is going to be Thoughtcast. Now, this is one I really love, especially lately with a couple of the decks I've been playing. It is very good for artifact strategies. It's 4 and a blue, affinity for artifacts, draw 2 cards. So essentially we are just casting tons of artifacts, paying just 1 blue and drawing 2 cards, casting more artifacts, and just continuously doing that. We want to, whether we're playing Tezzeret, Saheeli, Ral, Storm Conduit, whatever we're doing with artifacts, we just want to get them all on the board, and we want to see all the cards in our deck, just in case we are trying to do some sort of combo strategy. Now, there are a couple other cards that really donate themselves to the artifact strategies, and those are Whir of Invention and, Fabricate. Now, Whir of Invention, you can improvise through your artifacts, but it basically just tutors something up and puts it onto the battlefield. Fabricate is 2 and a blue, and you search your library for an artifact and put it into your hand. Now, our next card is going to be Contentious Plan. Now, this is one I see that pops up kind of all the time. 1 and a blue, a sorcery that says Proliferate and draw a card. Now, this is very good for Planeswalkers where you are going to want to utilize their ultimate abilities. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, Jason Mind Sculptor, Tameo the Moon Sage, anything where your kind of game plan, or maybe one of your specific win con of the deck, is to get that ultimate online. It's also very good because it lends itself to card draw, and we want to draw through our deck, and we want to draw those, make sure we have the counter spells in our hand, the removal that we need. Now, there's 2 cards that are very similar. Steady Progress, 2 and a blue, an instant that says Proliferate and draw a card, and Tezzeret's Gambit, 3 and a Phyrexian blue, draw 2 cards, then Proliferate. These are very good. I really like them. I plan on kind of testing Contentious Plan, probably with Tameo the Moon Sage, pretty soon here, and I will try to follow up with you guys on that. Now, Ponder. Ponder is a card that I really love, and actually, it's probably one of the signature spells that I feel I can default to. If I don't have anything in particular that I'm in love with, I can just fall back to Ponder because I feel it's just always gives me such good information. For a blue mana sorcery where we can look at the top 3 cards, put them back in any order, and shuffle our library, and we could draw a card. Now, this is very good because it really just gives us that deck manipulation. We can see what's on top of our library, stack the deck. If we want to go like a miracle route with maybe we're playing blue-white and we want to entreat the angels, or we want Determinus. You know, this kind of helps you stack your deck in a particular way. It also just gives you that card draw that we need, and it just allows you to plan ahead several turns. There's a couple other cards I like that are very similar. Brainstorm is an instant where you draw 3, put 2 back on top in any order. Essentially gives you that card draw. Preordain, we scry 2 and then draw a card. The reason I really like the scry is because if it's just cards on the top that we really don't want at the moment, we can just put them to the bottom. Now Show and Tell. Show and Tell is one I'm actually working on a brew for right now. For 2 and a blue, a sorcery, each player may put an artifact, creature, enchantment, or land from his or her hand onto the battlefield. This really helps us, you know, sneak in those huge Eldrazi spaghetti monster Ulamog type creatures, and it kind of abuses enter the battlefield effects. Although this is a sorcery speed card, you know, we can bring in cards where you know, it gains us that additional value off of other permanents we control. Now there's a couple other cards that kind of cheat permanents onto the battlefield. The first being Flash. I've seen this run in, or I've run it myself in a Tamir Sarkin kind of Breakfast Hulk Oathbreaker deck. I think that was one that didn't get onto the channel, but you just put a creature card onto the battlefield. If you do, you have to sacrifice it unless you play its mana cost reduced by up to 2. Polymorph, 3 and a blue, we destroy a target creature, and then you flip cards from the top of your library until you hit a creature, and that goes into the battlefield. Really fun way to kind of cheat in a Kozilek or a new Ulamog. Another card that I really like is Rise from the Tides. Now, 5 and a blue, a sorcery. We create a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token for each instant and sorcery card in our graveyard. Now, this is very good for blue because we are playing tons of counter spells, removal. Maybe if you're playing Izzet, you could just be in some kind of spell slinger deck where you could just, you know, pay 6 and get 10 2/2 black zombies, and it kind of gives us that win con through attacking with our zombies. You know, board wipe followed by Rise from the Tides, and then you just start attacking. We also have Rite of Replication. This is another way where we can create tokens and put them on the battlefield. It's absolutely silly when I see someone kick this spell. It's very good because they're never copying anything that is a weak creature. Now, our last card is actually going to be Windfall. And yes, this is kind of a part of a meme deck that we see around all the time. Windfall, 2 and a blue, where each player discards his or her hand, then draws cards equal to the greatest number of cards a player discarded this way. I really do like this card in general, and I do put it in my decks, even though I don't always run Narset. Yes, with Windfall and Narset, it does create a lockout of sorts, but it's very good to just kind of see new cards. I particularly like it if you are in a Spellslinger kind of strategy. Days Undoing is a similar card, but this kind of guarantees that you're going to draw 7 and your opponents are going to draw 0. So this is very good. But guys, that is going to be the end of this Oathbreaker video. If you guys are excited about this series, make sure to smash the like and hit the subscribe button. If you have any blue instant or sorceries that you consider the best signature spells, make sure to leave a comment down below. If there is a particular color you'd like to see next in this series, make sure to leave a comment. But otherwise, guys, I will catch you guys later.